I watched the blood as it trickled across the silk wooden floor, as it began to hide under the furniture, as it began to spread and draw closer to me, inch by inch. I was always a curious man. Was it wrong to peek? I thought not. Maybe I had been wrong. What good has come of this corpse that lay here before me? Yet, I have no regrets. I've regretted everything. I no longer wish to let myself become lost in such emotions. The deed has been done. Still, no, I must have been right. It was not wrong to peek. It was wrong to open the door as I have now. The door of knowledge has always been there, waiting for me. Who knew it could cause this? Still, I will carry on. This sudden insight is confusing. I will learn to master my knowledge. The blood that has been shed by my hands is no longer relevant. Nothing in this physical realm is relevant. I must understand what is yet to be understood by any other being. I will be patient and carry on. I let the blood reach me. I watched it while it dried and ceased its journey across the unfamiliar place. The blood's journey was irrelevant, unlike what I must soon experience. I left him there to make my own journeys across these many unfamiliar places. Am I mad? Possibly, although I could never quite say what madness was. My mother always told me to eat my greens. Like most, I was a fussy and picky child and didn't want anything to do with the disgusting-looking mass of otherworldly slime that she slopped onto my plate every meal. Give me meat, give me dinner rolls, anything but that. Eat your greens so you grow up big and strong. If all you eat is meat and sweets, you'll just turn into an aggressive thug. She always told me. Well, I certainly didn't want to become a thug. I was a nice person, you know. I was always polite to everyone and always patient too. I couldn't stand those jerks who played football and stuffed other kids into lockers. You'll just have to repay them with kindness and outlast them with patience, my mother always advised. Well, Mother, I guess you were right. I will be more kind and patient than all the thugs and jerks. See, I invited the jerk over for dinner. Wasn't that nice of me, Mother? I'll even eat all my greens this time to make doubly sure that I won't turn into a thug. I just wish that it didn't take so long for the human body to turn green. I'm getting really hungry, and my dessert will soon spoil. Mother. Supposedly, there are 7 gateways to hell scattered across the earth. These infernal entry points can, it is said, transport you to the underworld itself at certain times of the year, or if particular conditions are met. Why am I telling you this? Because I have a distinct feeling that I may have stumbled across one of such places little more than a month ago. It was around 9 p.m., and as I often do, I was walking along the rural path which connects between the center of my town and the outlying residential areas, when I noticed something quite mysterious. The sky was darker than usual, it seemed to me, but more concerning was a strange light piercing through the trees, which ran parallel to the path. I stopped and looked hard towards the ethereal glow which, whilst relatively dim, was clearly visible. After a short time, my curiosity got the better of me, and I decided to search for the source of the light. Trudging through ever-thickening grass and foliage, a strange feeling of panic flooded over me. The most bizarre feeling, as though something truly horrific was about to occur. I stood still and caught my breath, and then, reasoning that it was merely a panic attack, I continued in the direction of this captivating, luminous glow. No more than 2 minutes had passed before I came upon the origin of the beacon. What I saw there, my mortal mind can never erase, and I feel duty-bound to forewarn you never to follow, to allow your pangs of curiosity to lead you into such a ghastly situation. If something appears amiss and malevolent in some way, give it a wide berth, lest you suffer my fate. I say this happened little more than a month ago, of course, but I no longer keep track of time. I simply count the number of times I wake in this pure white room to the sound of my own blood-curdling scream, before I am heavily sedated by the orderlies once more. It's your first night in your new apartment. Your stuff is still in boxes. Your furniture, with the exception of the mattress on the floor, hasn't arrived yet. The utilities won't be turned on until the next day, so you're making do without. A flashlight and some candles will do for a light until you go to sleep. Despite the creepy feeling of being in a dark, empty apartment all alone, you chalk it up to nervousness and try to get some sleep. A sound wakes you up. You lay there for a moment, waiting to decide if it was real or your imagination being too loud. When the sound happens again, you check yourself at the time. 2 in the morning. You get up, using your cell phone for light, and make your way towards the kitchen, the apparent source of the noises. At first, you think somebody has broken into your apartment, but you choke down your reaction as you stare at the figure. It is a middle-aged man, wearing what amounted to stripped pajamas and standing in front of the microwave with his back to you. Although seemingly solid, you can also see through his body. You're paralyzed, mostly out of fear, but partly out of curiosity. "Hey," you finally manage to say. The man looks in your direction, turning slowly. Your eyes open wide as you realize the man has no lower jaw, letting his tongue hang out free. Your vision loses focus, and the apparition disappears. The sound wakes you up. It's your phone vibrating against the floor. It's morning, or at least light is coming in through the window. You're back on your mattress, and the missed call is from your mother. You're confused about the night before, and still shaking from the experience of what you saw. Was it a dream, or did you really see a ghost? Deep beneath the New Mexican desert, there is a lost city in a dark cavern. Many have journeyed to this deep city. Some have returned, some have not, completely vanished without a trace. As for what happened to the builders of the city, no one knows for sure. What I do know is that I have walked the rubble-strewn streets, and I have heard the city, and I have heard the cries in the dark, inhuman shrieks. I have no clue what these creatures that make these sounds are. I've been told that pictograms in the cavern suggest they were slaves to builders, but like I said, no one knows. Eventually, the random cries in the dark began to take a toll on me, and I fled the cavern, returned home, and until today told only a few close friends of what I had seen and heard. Now, as I walk down the darkened streets of my hometown, I've begun to hear the creatures again. They are calling me back to the cavern. The time is coming. In the panhandle of Oklahoma, along the interstate, there is a lone brick building marked Post Office Number 56 and is marked with tape at the door as closed. The building has no doors and looks like a small box of bricks from a distance. The door is always locked and will never budge no matter how hard you try. Every July 7th, if you are positioned to the west of the building, with the door opposite of where you stand, your nose will begin to bleed. If you drink some of the blood, one of your teeth will fall out. Take the tooth and go to the door. The tape will no longer be there, and the building will have one small eye-shaped window. If you go to the window and place the tooth in it, the door will click open. Do not look in the window. Never look in the window. When you open the door, a slow, salty breeze will blow out, and the entire room will be pitch black. Enter the room and shut the door. You will wait 10 to 40 minutes, depending on the last time you saw your parents. After the time is up, a single shrill scream will sound. If you flinch, you will wake up in your bed sweating. If you don't flinch, close your eyes quickly and start running. You will run for about 4 to 7 minutes, depending on how fast you are. Then you will hit a wall. Do not open your eyes. The ground will feel warm and your eyelids will see the color red. Do not open your eyes. Just feel around until you find a ring on the floor. The ring will be cold as ice. Pull on the ring and a trapdoor will open. Enter the trapdoor. After doing this, you will fall through the roof of an office tile in a building in downtown Tulsa in a bathroom stall. In the toilet will be a wallet and a gold ring. Take the gold ring. Do not touch the wallet. If you visit Francis Côte d'Azur in your lifetime, do everything you can to avoid a small town called Blanche. I was in the country once with my parents, around 8 years ago. I was 12 at the time. We were on a family vacation, and we found ourselves looking for a place to get some rest and enjoy some of the local color. We were getting really hungry on the road, so it was with some luck that a town, unmarked on our map, rose unexpectedly on the horizon. This was the town of Blanche. Immediately after we entered Blanche, we noticed that the colors of the houses were darker than anything I had ever seen in my entire life. It's not like they were black or gray. They were normal colors for walls. They just look not right. It's hard to explain. Almost like it was a color that we didn't even have a word for, because it's so dark and strange. A few minutes after driving around the town, we all began to notice the fishy stench, like a Friday market, except for the fact that no fish were being sold. The people in the town also had a really weird skin tone, almost frostbitten and tinged with a deep blue. If I recall correctly, my father said something like, "These guys sure look like the sea." We had originally planned to stay in the town for a while, but my mother and my sister were so disturbed by the creepy atmosphere and the town's denizens that they insisted that we keep driving and find a different town to stay the night. When we arrived in the next town, it was like we all gave a gigantic sigh of relief at once. We felt that we were back in normal civilization. However, the people who ran the inn that we stayed at in the second town did tell us some very freaky stories about Blanche. Stories that made us really glad that we didn't stay there.